Good afternoon. So, first of all, thanks to William and Nick for the invitation to speak here on stage today. So I think all of us are here today because we feel we're looking for some huge opportunity or enormous challenge to solve through blockchain. And we feel, you're already falling asleep? We feel actually that the biggest challenge that we're facing right now is global warming and the climate crisis it causes. Basically, I think, and I think many of us here will believe the same thing, that if we keep going the way we're doing it right now, in a few years this conference will be held wearing scuba suits and diving masks because we're about, how far are we from the bay? This is a serious issue that the world is facing right now, and we feel that we can solve it through blockchain. So, right now, the UN has said that man-made emissions created by energy production are causing global warming, and in fact that the largest singular source of greenhouse gas emissions are large commercial buildings. The energy that they use, and especially let's say a city like New York Green Bank says that in New York City, 70% of the greenhouse gas emitted there is caused by the energy used to power commercial buildings. At the same time that we're facing this global crisis, we feel there's an enormous opportunity there, an enormous financial opportunity to solve this. Because Deutsche Bank came out with a study and said, look, if only commercial buildings in the United States alone reduce their energy use by 30%, this will unlock a value of over $600 billion. So if you take that and measure it and compare it to what William said this morning, the total value of the crypto market right now is about 350 billion, I believe. It's about twice that. You compare it to what the value of Alphabet is, company just down the road from here. It's around 600 billion, hovering there. This is the value that we can unlock, and we can unlock it through blockchain. This is what the status quo is right now. Why isn't anybody doing this? Why isn't it solved if it is so easy? Well, the reason is because these are siloed industries that are not working well together, or not even working well within their own industry. If you look at it from left to right, you got your investors. The investors are driven by one thing, it's maximizing returns. That's why they're incentivized, that's also what their goal is. The energy companies historically have been tragically at working together at developing any kind of standardization, which is why I'm sure if you've traveled, you get a spark plug per country that you go to, and there's even a difference in voltage, 110 or 220. Then we get to the real estate owners. Those are not, how shall I say this nicely, typified by saying that the largest real estate owners are the most forward-thinking people, have long-term effects, work well with others, and share data and information. I'm a guest in this country, I'm trying to stay. So, the interesting thing is, this can be changed, because the basic fact is there's no trust within these silos and between the silos, within these industries and outside. Through the Bluenote Protocol, we think we can create a system of decentralized, trusted economics where we create this level of trust that's necessary for this to work and save the planet and make money at the same time. They sound like ugly words, but you can combine them and they actually make sense. You start with the investors on the right side. Investors have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize returns for their investors, their shareholders. And if there is a system that allows them to access data that's verified and it's quantified and it's measured, they will have to use their data so they can actually see which buildings they're investing in, the current portfolio and the future portfolio, how they perform and how they perform against others. They will have to use those kind of systems. And basically what we're creating here is a decentralized system of trust through the blockchain. So the key characteristics of this open, transparent community are, and here I'll have to read because it's a really long sentence and I don't want to mess it up. Blue projects upload their raw performance data and receive a community-verified calculation traceable to its data source. And we had to get it on one slide, and we only had 6 slides. So what does that mean? It basically means that that light right here, those one next to it, can be measured individually. We can measure their energy use, and we can calculate their CO2 emission reduction. There's 2 things we can measure and we can calculate. And we can do it to every singular source of energy use in a building such as this. Now, excuse me, the analytics that creates means that participants, and we're hoping building owners here, can gain insights in the performance of their building, how they can improve based on the data they actually would upload into the network and compare it to others, and benchmark it. What if I use this light source? What if I use insulation? What if I use... And all this stuff is not new technology. This is just installing existing technology and using it, combining it by sharing it with others. And that's the interesting thing about the situation. The rewards have to be there. Real estate owners will expect rewards. Rewards will be that basically for uploading data into the network, they will be incentivized by the Bluenote token. That's why we have to have our own token. At the same time, users of the data will actually have to pay through the token for accessing the data and information. The team that's making this all happen is based out of Zug in Switzerland. Probably no surprise to many of you if you're hearing Oliver Busman this morning of Crypto Valley. And it's a mixed team of 3 groups. The first group is energy and building experts. Jeremy Edelman in the audience here is a former VC for Energy Foundry, long time experience investing in the space. Andrew Barbeau, our other co-founder, is in Chicago right now, where President Obama is addressing a mayor's conference at the North American Climate Conference, because some presidents do believe in climate change. So Andrew couldn't be here. But the other group that we have are blockchain experts. Francisco Gordillo, who's speaking on the panel after us, the CEO of Crypto Valley Labs, and also the other co-founder of Crypto Valley, Switzerland, Ralph Glabischnik. So it's a mixed group of people. And the third group are the generalists, I call them, the technology people that we need to drive all this and power our blockchain, and our energy and building experts. So, to sum this up, basically, right now we have the private sale ongoing. Our pre-sale and ICO are expected early next year. If you walk out these doors later on and go right down the hall, our CTO Philippe, co-founder Jeremy, and myself will be there at a table, no booth. It's just a waste of energy. There to talk to you about how we can save the planet and make money at the same time. Thank you.